Sandra, welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my asexual life. This is the place for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. So if you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find the content useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form, or you just want to give this channel some like love. I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And in a moment, I'm going to get into beware of projecting when asexual dating, and it's important you stop this now. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, do stay tuned. But first, if you didn't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this awesome book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I'm also the founder of asexual.com, the founder of Asexualized Academy, and also the author of this awesome fibromyalgia self-help handbook, How to Manage Fibromyalgia to have less pain, more energy and feel happier like a superhero rock star. So let's crack on with today's episode. Hello, Sam. Lots of love. Lovely to see you. Nice to see you. So what am I talking about with projecting? So when you have someone new come into your life, particularly if you're on the asexual dating and relationship scene, you're looking for someone for a relationship, you're really, like in my case at the moment, I'm feeling more hyper romantic than I have been in recent months because I've just watched 3 episodes of Aladdin pretty much over the last 3 days, which kind of doesn't help my hyper romanticism. But you know, it was feeling great for the first 2, and then all of a sudden on the 3rd one, it's like, no, I'm interested in a relationship again. Do you know what I mean? So I have to try and control my hyper romanticism, which has been going well. But when I'm watching a romantic film 3 times in a row, I'm kind of thinking, wouldn't mind having a guy to kiss and cuddle and be in a relationship with right now. Partly I'm thinking that anyway, because I do love my single life, you know. So projecting is all about when you are kind of having fantasies in your mind. Thanks for the thumbs up. Either having fantasies in your mind, or you're having idealistic, or you know, idealism going on in your life. So basically a lot of it's to do with the mind. So it's basically in your mind, most people have got the ideal type of partner they want, the ideal type of like relationship. If you're romantic, this really does usually apply to you, particularly because romantic asexuals are more likely to kind of like think in their mind about what type of ideal relationship they would have, what type of feeling it would give them, especially romantic feelings, right? We associate, as romantic people, we associate romantic feelings with certain situations, certain events, films, and all this type of thing. So it can put us in a really romantic mood, really longing to be in a relationship. And as we all know, it's very difficult sometimes to find a relationship if you're asexual, which can make the kind of projecting even more apparent. So what do I mean by projecting? Projecting is projecting your ideal romantic situation onto someone who's just come into your life. So basically, you don't know who that person is, right? And you feel some sort of feelings towards them quite soon. You're more likely to get this if you're a romantic asexual than you are if you are an aromantic, for example, because an aromantic, or some people pronounce them aromantic asexual, someone who doesn't experience romantic or sexual attraction. However, aromantic or aromantic people can still have things like crushes sometimes and things like that, or you know, because they can experience platonic attraction where they do actually want a queer platonic relationship in some cases. So they might find that they are having some sort of feelings for someone. Usually it probably wouldn't be as quickly as it would be for a romantic person, for example. And other aromantics, they're not interested in a relationship whatsoever. They're just like best friends with everyone who they feel good about, who they feel they can get on with, who feel they can form a friendship with, right? But for romantic asexuals particularly, we can kind of create this story, and this story is our ideal type of relationship, right? The ideal type of way the person would be, the ideal type of way the person would talk to us, the ideal type of way the person would dress, the ideal type of way the guy or girl or whatever gender the person would be with us. And so what we can do is we can project our ideology, like our best case scenario, onto the new person who's come into our life, kind of wishing and hoping that they would be that person. But that doesn't necessarily mean they are that person or are ever going to be that person. So it's very, very, very difficult scenario. You have to try and use logic over your heart sometimes, and logic over your romantic nature. And that can be really hard, like especially for someone who is really romantic like myself. But there are other people that are really romantic, and especially with the situation where it is at the moment in the world, you know, it kind of pulls on the heartstrings a bit more if you've been longing for a relationship for a while, because of the isolation makes you feel a bit more cut off. You can kind of miss the warmth a lot more, and you can kind of miss, you know, like the connection and everything. So the reason I bring this up is because I did meet someone recently in the last 24 hours on this channel. They were in one of my comment chats, well, a couple of them actually, and they do live in the UK, and they are in their 20s, which is really, really nice. But they live miles away from me. And they were brave. They did say they were looking for a relationship also. They did say that at the age they are, which is 28, because they know I said I like younger guys. And they did say that they find me cute, and they have connected with me on Facebook. So all those things are really, really good, right? And I was having a conversation the other day with them in message on Facebook, and it went quite well, you know? And already I'm very aware of my own feelings. Already I could feel some romantic type of feelings when I was just messaging this person backwards and forwards. And the reason for that is because I found them quite easy to talk to. And the conversation was quite flowing. And it's quite difficult to get that sometimes when you're on asexual dating sites, or when you're in, you know, asexual forums and stuff. A lot of asexuals, because they're introverted, they don't seem to take much action in terms of talking to you and keeping communication going. Obviously, this is the first 24 hours pretty much. So I do not know what they're going to be like down the line, where they're going to be consistent, persistent, where they're going to still show interest, or whether it's just going to be a friendship, where it's going to be a close friendship, not close friendship. Obviously, I've got my best friend, Sam, and that will always be the case. No one will ever stop that or come between us, you know? So that's different. But I don't know what type of friendship this is going to end up being, or if it is going to be a genuine friendship or just a friend that I don't speak to that often. You know, I don't know how it's going to go. But obviously, when I was messaging them back today, I was kind of feeling some romantic feelings. This person has changed their look in recent months by the look of it on their Facebook. So they've gone from a person aesthetically that I'll be honest, I wouldn't be attracted to them aesthetically, with loads of facial hair, because it makes them look like I saw a picture of them quite some time ago by the look of it, and they look like about like 40 something, and was shocked, you know. It's like, that's not the type of guy I would ever be aesthetically attracted to, because I do have aesthetic attraction, I can't hide that. But the way they look now, they've got short dark hair, clean shaven, they look really aesthetically beautiful in their face, you know. And they wear like black t-shirt and stuff, they look really, really nice. And so now, for a British person, because they're not Indian or foreign either, but they have got a foreign surname, so I think they must have some foreign origins somewhere in their family. So but I'm not sure if it's more like Polish or something. I couldn't find the exact spelling of their name though, so I was looking it up to double check. But they were British born anyway, but they live miles and miles away from me, and they don't drive and I don't drive, so I don't know if anything would ever come of that, you know. But I was talking to them, and they were relating to me quite a lot. And obviously, when you can relate to someone quite a bit on some things, when you've just met, it kind of forms a bond quicker. You know, you kind of like form some sort of bond quicker, because you can relate. You have things that are like-minded that you think, and things that you do, and then it kind of becomes more easily available for you to feel romantic or some sort of attraction quicker, because there's a more emotional connection quicker through various hobbies and interests you've got that are the same, because this person likes the same superhero characters as me. This is very superficial stuff when you think about it, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter so much about these things. If they haven't got the fundamental same values, beliefs, and morals, then it wouldn't work anyway in terms of potential relationship. So you've always got to be very, very careful about this stuff, that you're not just looking at the more superficial, like outside stuff, rather than the core being of the person. But when you first meet, obviously, you're only going to be talking more about hobbies and interests when you first meet more. Do you know what I mean? And also, it's very important as an asexual to have hobbies and interests in common, because at the end of the day, when we don't have sex, we need something to keep the relationship going, to keep it interesting. If it ever turns into a relationship or even friendship, you kind of need to have stuff in common. A lot of people who are heterosexuals, for example, they tend to be friends because they fancy each other sexually as well. So it's not just like platonic like you might think with them. But in terms of like, obviously this guy hasn't said, I want a relationship with you, Sandra. They haven't said those words to me, which is good, I think, because obviously I've only just met them. But they have said I'm cute, and they have said some nice stuff. So they said that I seem like a female version of them, which I thought was quite nice and sweet of them to say, So, and they, like I said, they got the same favourite superhero character as me. They like going on roller coasters, which I absolutely love. They love going clubbing as well, which is really, really good. So they do have quite some things that I like. On the other hand, they have some things that are like, they said they want to go skydiving. I would never do that in my life because I don't like going on a plane. You wouldn't. I don't like heights either, so you wouldn't catch me doing something like that. But the person doesn't have to be like me on everything. I don't need someone like me on everything. That would be boring, wouldn't it? But what I'm trying to say is that we've got to be careful not to project. So when we first meet someone and we've got lots of things in common like that, it's easy then to project that we might think, oh, this person's really good for us to be in a potential relationship with because we've got so much in common with them and it feels really good. And you kind of get that buzz and that romance and that kind of like, woo! I mean, obviously they might not feel the same. If they're a different type of asexual, then they might not, the way you feel in the moment might not be how they feel. Right? Just because I felt like, oh, this person, I seem to have a lot in common, and I had some romantic feelings come up because of that situation. That person might not be thinking that. That person might just go, oh, this might be a really good friend. Even though I think she's cute, she might make a really good friend. You know what I mean? That might be what they're thinking. I can't tell what the other person's thinking, right? You can't. So when I'm talking about projecting, do not project all your ideology and your, especially if you're romantic notion onto that person to make them the person that you want to be in a relationship with, because you're kind of like in that mood or that frame of mind. Do you know what I mean? Make sure that you if you are thinking about a potential relationship with someone, that you develop a really, really good friendship with them over a very, very long period of time, because that's the only way you can truly tell if they're going to live up to your expectations, if you have the same expectations for a relationship, if you're both interested in that in the future, and if you're compatible in that way at all. Do you know what I mean? Just by the beginning of getting to know someone, you don't really know someone. You don't know someone till months down the line, when all their bad qualities come out, all their qualities that are not shown to the rest of the world. They're shown to only the people they really, really trust over a long period of time. Because a lot of people aren't like me and out to the world about many things, and a lot of people keep things to themselves, and it's going to take time to get to know someone. You have to look for consistency, persistency, contradictions. Are what they're saying in line with their actions? Are they saying stuff that's kind of weird or not true? Maybe you want them to be a really good person, you want them to be a really great, you would like them to be really, really the same type of romantic person as you, for example, but they end up not being. So you got to be very, very careful that you don't project what your ideology is onto the other person. You have to stop it in the beginning as much as possible. You have to like one of the traditional dating coaches that I watch a lot. He's very, very good though. He says, don't like well, I don't want to get married, but he has kind of like a saying, like, don't marry the future, marry the present. Like, don't project onto the future. Be in the present moment with someone. What is that person really behaving like now, not in 10 years time? Now, Sam, yes, it's better to take the time rather than rush into the wrong thing. Exactly, Sam. I think that's so true. Life is very strange, because at the end of the day, we could meet anyone at any moment in time. I mean, this guy's not foreign, he's British. And I've always said I want an Indian guy, do you know what I mean? So, and I obviously have said that a lot on this channel, but I did like the look of him for a British guy. His face, like not in the past, but his face now is really, really beautiful. But that doesn't mean diddly squat in terms of relationship, in terms of like how the person's going to treat you, does it? I mean, so far he's been really polite and nice in his messages, but I don't know, do I? Because he doesn't know me, I don't know him. He's just come across my channel, so do you know what I mean? It takes a long time to get to know someone. But it's something I used to do a lot of in the past, which is why I'm bringing it to your attention and why I am stopping myself from trying to do that now. It's because I used to project a lot. I didn't even know it was called projecting, and projection. I had never heard of like this type of thing before, so I wasn't consciously aware of it in the past, and I always used to have in my head this type of guy that I want this person to be, that in the past never end up being like that, right? And it's very easy for a person to be the type of person you want to be more in the beginning, because they're not showing all the sides of them. They're not showing you what it'd be like to be in an everyday situation for them, to be cooped up in a room with them, for example. And so, I mean, I tend to not trust very many guys at all, or not very many people. That's why I only have really friends that I trust. Like, I trust Sam implicitly, but Sam so far is the only person that I've trusted implicitly in relationship terms. But I can't have a relationship with Sam because they're into guys or women that don't look like me and don't like kissing either. So, Sam's the only one I trust implicitly like that. So, somewhere down the line, there's going to be another person that I trust implicitly, relationship wise. And same here. Oh, bless you. Bless you. I mean, it would be a lot easier if, in terms of like relationship, you ended up suitable for people that actually you're really best friends, but it doesn't work like that in life, does it? Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not a guy, but most of my friends who are asexual like guys. So yeah, I was born the wrong gender for that, but never mind. I still like being female. I'm still gonna be female. But yeah, so yeah, I think I'll find it really difficult to find someone that I trust as much as Sam, but I have to remain positive, upbeat, and thinking I will, because otherwise I just have to remain single forever. That's okay, but I do like romance, kissing and cuddling, so that would be kind of difficult for me, really. Long term. Short term's fine, but maybe I'm meant to be single long term anyway. I don't know. But it is hard, I think it'd be a lot easier if we loved the people that were in front of us rather than people who we don't even know. But it doesn't work out like that in life. Do you know what I mean? Life is very strange, and I believe everything works out for the best. And I want Sam and all my friends to find the best relationships for them and the best type of person for them, because I want them to be happy. Even if I remain single forever, I want them to be happy. I want them to have the love, the kisses, the cuddles that they need, or not many kisses, guys, the cuddles that they need, the amount of kissing they need, and the lots of cuddles they need. Yeah, I really do wish that for you and for my friends. It's important that my friends are happy. I'm kind of used to being on my own now. So yeah. But and I can still kiss foreign guys at clubs if I need to when this whole thing's over, which I can't do at the moment. But that's not basis for an actual relationship, is it? But hey, and I've decided, in years to come, if I don't find anyone, I will just live in, literally, I will make sure all my fairy tales come true with myself. I will, like when people are kind of rich and they spend loads of money going to holidays in Spain and sunning themselves. That really isn't me. I'll be like going to Disneyland Paris and living the Disney dream a lot more. And I'll spend my money on like buying myself flowers and gifts and stuff. And I don't know, maybe I'll just like rent a horse and cart or something and wear a princess dress and just do crazy things like that to make myself nicely romantically happy. Do you know what I mean? I believe in creating your own destiny and creating your own reality and creating your own fairy tale in life. So if it doesn't happen with someone that comes along, just make it for yourself, because it's a damn sight better than just not doing it at all, if that's what you really want. So yeah. So yeah, I do think it's hard. I'm gonna buy a giant teddy for me to cuddle. Oh, bless you. Oh, oh. I hope you find someone to cuddle you, Sam. You're such a lovely person. Oh, bless you. Oh, so sweet. I got my Eeyore and my other cuddlies. I got a lot. But I do like, because I like kissing, so it's hard for me. I do really, really like kissing. A lot of kissing. I like kissing like a favourite hobby. And it's not something I can probably do for, like, I don't know, another 16 months or something. Or at least, like, probably till Christmas at least. Oh, dearie me. Never mind. I just have to, like, wait it out. People, and kiss my teddy bears instead. Oh, hi, my life. Nice to see you. How are you doing? How are you doing? But it is always better to kiss cuddly toys and cuddle cuddly toys than it is to get the wrong person. I just thought I'd add that in there, since we're talking about projection. Because it is so important not to project. Because I've watched Aladdin now for 3 days in a row, and obviously I'm feeling a very, very romantic mood. So technically, the next guy that comes along in my life who I feel some romance towards, it can be a sense of oh, is this the right prince for me? Do you know what I mean? Oh, I was just looking at a prince. Yes, is this a prince in real life? My life, I'm doing well. I figured out what religion I belong in. HAI. Oh, I haven't. Is that a type of religion, HAI? Or are you trying to say hi to me again? Oh, I haven't. I'm not strictly religious myself, but I'm classed as Christian, but I'm more spiritual than religious. But it's good that you figured out what religion you belong in, and it's good you figured out your asexuality. Because I know you said you're grey asexual now, and I think that's really important. I think that, like I said before, asexuality is a journey of discovery, and I think, as well, it's really important to not project both the bad things in your past onto someone and the good things that you want it to be. I think it's best to try, when you've got a new person in your life that you're romantically interested in at all, I think it's really important that you just give it time, and that you take a step back and not have any expectations if you can. My life, I belong in Jedism, I've had a Jedi master for 6 years, but it's only been online. I plan to be initiated in real life and have real life training. Jedism. That sounds like something out of Star Wars. Jedi Master. Do they do that in person? Do they? It sounds interesting. Oh wow, that sounds quite interesting. I think I just belong to my own religion, my own views and beliefs. But I do talk to God quite a lot, like daily probably, which is quite nice. I just consider him my mate, and I do consider him a him. I get on better with guys anyway. And so, but I'm very spiritual as well. I follow my intuition loads. It's really important. But I'm very grateful. So I do talk to God, say I'm very grateful for, like, being alive right now, and and having a beautiful flat and beautiful home and nice cuddly toys and beautiful friends. Like Sam is my bestest friend, and they're amazing. I couldn't wish for a better friend. So, I'm feeling really blessed. I get a bit emotional sometimes lately. I'm like, oh, I've got such good friends. My life, I watch Jedi Living on YouTube. I believe in God, science, and the universe. The force is the universe. Same here, Sandra. My own beliefs, spiritual, but no God for me. Yeah. Yeah. You're very similar as the spiritual, but no God for you. Yeah. I've always talked to God quite a bit, but I do it quite a lot lately, every single day. I think I just happen because I just notice myself, because I just do it a lot, because I know that I'm meant to be alive right now. Like God has plans for me, don't you, God? But I've always treated him like my mate, so that's not really tradition, you know what I mean? I just like talk to him like a mate, like you love to meditate. That's really good for you, my life. I'm not really into meditation, something I haven't really got into, but I do listen to meditations on YouTube sometimes, like wealth meditations and stuff like that, and success meditation. So I guess I'm not doing the traditional meditation, but I do listen to meditations on YouTube. Um but they're affirmation meditations, really. That, they're like positive affirmations. So I listen to them quite a bit. But yeah, I'm always saying stuff to God like, yeah, I'm here, I'm alive, this is awesome. I know you've got plans for me. I know everything's gonna be okay, everything's gonna work out, I'm doing fine. I also talk to myself quite a bit as well and coach myself. I'm like, Sandra, I'm gonna get you through this. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right, girl. You're gonna be all right. So I kind of like I kind of talk to God, and I talk to myself like I'm kind of like I kind of like there. Sam, I listen to meditation videos on YouTube. Yeah, they're really good, aren't they? I like the YouTube ones because they're more like music and like affirmations. I've connected to my selenite crystal. It's healed a headache I had and stomach upset. Crystals don't always help ease problems and not an alternative medicine. Oh yeah, I've got crystals, but they don't seem to do that much good for me. That my friend bought me. Um, but natural remedies usually do a lot. And obviously, movie therapy helps a lot. I have to keep my stress levels down at the moment because I still got pelvic problems, which I haven't mentioned on this channel. But the doctor stuff didn't work, so now I'm looking at alternative and trying alternative medicines again because I just like it's not the doctor's stuff hasn't worked, and so that's kind of like not good. And I've got to be careful because stress can make the problem I've got. So I've got to be careful not to get stressed. I haven't cured the problem yet. I love herbal remedies. Yeah, they usually work really, really well for me. But this particular problem, I'm hoping I solve by pure stuff. Sam, I talked to my nan a lot, who passed in 2007. That's really, really sweet and nice, Sam. It's important. It's important. Yeah, I never feel like my grandma's left me. My dad's mum, that is. I even the other day, I never feel like she's left me at all because I was there when she, wasn't anymore going to be here. So I kind of like always feel like she's with me and never left most of the time. So that's kind of really good. But I have a necklace with her ashes in. My dad is still around. This is good. This is really good, my life. This is really good. Yeah, it's really good. And it's good for all our families that are still around. I got my mum and dad that obviously I can't see because my mum has got a lot of medical things that she has to make sure she's isolating at the moment, maybe till Christmas or more, so at least till June. So that's kind of like it is what it is. So yeah, so as I told the story before about him showing up as a real tailhawk when I'm stressed or ask him for help. That's good. My life, that's really good. Yeah, it's really good. It's really important that we have these other things that we know are there, even if we can't always see them. I know some other people can see them. Like I don't want to see ghosts myself. I don't personally want to see that. It freaks me out. I just know that. I just know. Yeah, I don't. I choose not to see that type of thing because I know. Yeah, I just like no. I'm happy with the God. I'm happy with me coaching myself, and I'm happy that my grandma's still with me. I see my nan sometimes, especially when I need someone. That's really nice, Sam. That's really nice. It's good. It was his favourite bird. Oh, that's really sweet. Yeah, I coach myself a lot. I have to coach myself a lot as well. So coaching myself means I have to literally there's me and then there's my coach me, who's the person who's really strong within me and who I tell myself that everything's going to be okay and I'm going to get myself through this and I'm strong and I'm brave and I'm courageous and I'm not going to let you down, Sandra. You're going to be cool. You're going to be good, girl. We're going to be good to go. Do not worry. Everything will be fine. So yeah, I kind of have I'm my own coach to myself. It's really important. Really, really, really important to be your own coach to yourself. Because everyone in the world can can give you advice, but unless it's in keeping with your own soul and your own being and what you believe and what's good for you, it's only you can change your life. And so, you know, it's like with my pelvic problems, I've had these problems, I think, since at least November last year. Only my own doctor didn't take any notice of me back in November. And now it's been so long that this is why I've got such problems that even doctors' meds are not working. So, you know, it's an ongoing issue, but I've got to not get stressed out about it because stress causes it. My life. I asked if he approved of my boyfriend, and a red-tailed hawk showed up overhead. They only show up when I ask for his help or if something big is going on in my life, like stress and anxiety. Oh, that's nice. That's nice, my life. It's really important that we've got these other influences that are good for us in our life. You know, like mine's a moth usually, but it's kind of good if I don't have moths usually appear when someone bad in my life comes up quite a lot. Like if there's a new guy and he's really bad for me, this moth will show up. He's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Get rid of this dark person out of your life." So moths are cute. They are cute. They are cute. I love moths. They're my totem animal. They turn up at different times, but I've noticed that usually one turns up in my life when I've met a new guy online that's no good for me. And they show up and they're like, "What are you doing? What are you doing, Sandra? Stop it." I'm like, "Oh, right, okay." Yours is a wolf. Yeah, I think you said that before, my life. But what about the tailhawk? Isn't your, or is that exclusively your dad and not anything else? Because with you saying a tailhawk, I wondered if is it just like, I wondered if that was your totem. But other animals do show up. The hawk is, oh, the hawk's your dad. Yeah, yeah. So I do have other insects that turn up. The moth is my totem animal itself, and then I have, you know, it's totem insect. You know, actually my totem, and then I have other insects that come along that tell me what's happening in my life. I always look them up. I look up the spiritual meaning of them. Sam, I have a spider that comes and reminds me to get on with creating things for Space Era. They've gone currently because I've been busy with that. Yeah, Sam, I told you, didn't I? I told you the spider had spiritual meaning, and you looked it up with me. Yes, they all have these spiritual meanings. And I have some random insect come in my flat. I'm like, "You're random. You're not meant to be here right now. Why have you come into my life? You're so random." Like the grasshopper I had appear in my shower with no grass around and no garden here. I live in the middle of a house and there's high up. Do you know what I mean? And I asked him actually to move out the shower because I was going to crush him in the door when I closed the door. Well, I wasn't going to crush him actually because he'd moved inside by then, but I was like, "I'm going to go put water and it's going to go all over you. So please, Mr. Grasshopper, can you like move around the other side of the door so I don't crush you in the door and you don't get waterlogged?" And it did. And then I got out of the shower and he just disappeared. And then was it 1 or 2 days later, I saw another grasshopper cross my path. They're supposed to be very good luck, very good fortune. If a grasshopper comes across your path, good fortune is coming your way, usually, like money and stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah, so I always remember my grasshopper. So yeah, you know, it's very important to have spirituality. You know, a lot of us have been here before in life, and a lot of us meet people from our past lives, good and bad, I think. So you've got to be very careful. You know, so sometimes people feel familiar, but it doesn't necessarily mean to say they are good. You've got to wait it out sometimes. Sometimes you'll just know if they're good, I think. And other times you'll have to wait it out depending on the situation. I've got to be very careful with romantic stuff because my judgment can get very cloudy, which is why I'm better than I used to be, though. Much, much better. So, which is why I started talking about projection in this video originally, you know, because I have a habit of projecting on to a new person that comes into my life who I have romantic interest, projecting on that person what I would ideally like them to be in relationship potential terms, you know. And so that's not a good thing. I have to hold back and recognize that that's what I could be doing or might want to do, and to stop myself from doing it. It's very important that you do that, you know. It's very important. It's very important that you don't project the bad stuff from the past onto them as well, but recognize patterns of behavior as well. So you've got to, it's kind of like really difficult sometimes because you've got to you're always assessing people based on your past experience. Usually it's what we naturally do, and that in part is good because it's to stop us from getting harmed, to stop us from hurting, but we've also got to be careful not to project all our past rubbish onto someone who doesn't deserve it as well. So you've just got to wait it out and see how that person turns out. But obviously if they have lots of red flags, then you just don't bother. Because there's a lot of red flags that usually show up in the beginning, and if you don't pay attention to them, you can end up in it going down 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months down the line, end up with a person you never wanted to be with because they weren't right for you in the first place. But you romantically might have wanted to be with them, or fantasy land wanted to be with them. So you've got to be very, very careful of that. But you've also got to remember each person's an individual. And just because they may do something or look a certain way, like your ex might done, who wasn't good, doesn't mean to say they are actually the same as them. So you've got to take everything into consideration, everything into consideration. The way they behave, the way they speak to you, the way they behave around their other friends and their family, if you get that far with them and see what they're like with other people. Like, I am very the same whether you see me on my YouTube show here or whether you meet me in person. I'm pretty much identical person. So that's not very well heard of. Most people are different in different scenarios, but what you see with me is really what you get with me. And I'm very like, what you see is literally what you get, and I speak my mind. So you've got to look out for, when you meet someone new in life, look out for the reality of the situation, and keep that in mind as you go along as well in life. Make sure that the reality is living up to what's in your mind, or what's in your mind's living up to the reality. That they are the same, that you're not projecting, because we can project all sorts of stuff and put people on pedestals. I've put guys on pedestal in the past, and I must never do that again. Because I deserve someone who's absolutely gorgeous for me, just like other people do. And I'm just as good as other people. Do you know what I mean? Obviously I have a lot of self-love and self-worth now, and I do have a lot of guys interested in me, most of whom are sexual, sadly. But I do have a lot of guys interested in me, so I think it's very, very important to recognize that there are a lot of people out there. There are a lot of asexuals that I haven't even met yet. My life, I see an amazing person with lots of energy and creativity that knows what they want and isn't afraid to live boldly. You talk about me, my life. Is that what you're talking about, me? Because that's really nice if you are. Or are you talking about who your ideal person is to be in a relationship with? I got a bit lost. But anyway, it sounds really nice. Oh, you're talking about me? Oh, thank you. That's nice. I see an amazing person with lots of energy and creativity that knows what they want and isn't afraid to live boldly. Thank you. Lots of love. I really appreciate that. Seconded and thirded. You. Oh, thank you. That's really nice. Oh, thank you. I want to frame that. I want to frame those words on my wall. That's really sweet. Thank you, my life. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you, Sam. I really appreciate you both. That's really lovely. Yes, I do kind of live more boldly than I've ever lived in my life before, I think. I feel that way, Like, yeah, especially that guy at the supermarket, which I never heard back from, the Indian guy that happened to be in my supermarket. But that's okay, he's not my guy, clearly. And I just think, you have to keep persisting and keep going for your goals, ambitions, and dreams. I do believe dreams can come true. I honestly do. However long it takes, I believe they can come true. And I believe persistence and being persistent and consistent does pay off, I won't ever stop living my dreams. I won't ever stop pursuing everything I want to pursue. I won't stop writing books. I won't stop doing business stuff. I won't stop doing this channel. I love this channel. It's very different to other channels because I sit here chatting for ages, but I just love it. It feels like I'm at home. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm sat in my lounge with you, which I pretty much am, because my lounge is my bedroom. I don't have a lounge. So I feel like I'm sat in my bedroom with you and I'm just having a nice, cozy, comfy chat with you. And I just like talking to you, especially at this time. I think it's even more important than ever to have some people to talk to know that they're there for you in this time of uncertainty and difficulty. Do you know what I mean? Because then that there's kind of some stability in your life. It's like, oh, Sandra's still there. Yeah, it's like I intend to be around for a very long time, you know. Like I do talk to God quite a lot, as I've already said. You know, I'm like, I mean, the guys, I believe the guy for me anyway. It's kind of like the guy's got plans for me. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm not done with you yet. You've still got shed loads to do, Sandra, including getting your Asexual Guide to Sex book out, and you've got to get on with that because that's going to really impact thousands and thousands of lives around the globe, both asexuals and hopefully sexuals too. Oh, that's really sweet. Oh, what's that? That looks like a. What's that in the box? They look like they got what? So those are nice little gifts anyway. Whatever they are, they're really sweet. That look like I don't know if that's a. That looks like little cat's head with some eyes poked up, but I'm probably seeing things that aren't really there. Apparently, when I was in my A-level English literature class, I used to see things in poems and prose that was never really there because my mind's quite like doesn't see things. Cat. Oh, it is a cat. Oh, that's quite sweet. In my housemates, I live in the middle of a house, so I say they're my housemates, but I don't actually live with them. I just go through their hallway to get to my flat. But they have two black cats, and black cats are super lucky for me. Super lucky. Like my grandma years ago when she was alive, she gave me a lucky black cat brooch from I think it was the Isle of Wight or something. It has three like little legs on its side. But I've always known since then that black cats are very, very, very lucky for me. They're like the luckiest kind of animal for me in that way. So I like, yes, I live in a house with two black cats, not in a flat because they're outside of my flat, but they're house cats. So they're very beautiful. And it's really strange because there was a guy I met in Poundland the other day, foreign. He was quite good looking, but young. A tattoo. I'm not too keen on tattoos. And his name was Dante. And I forgot one of my housemates' cats is called Dante as well. Dante and Neo, I think it is. I think it's Dante. I think it's Dante and Neo. I know one's Neo because obviously that's from Matrix, isn't it? I think Neo is from Matrix. Something like that. Is it Dante or Dante? Something like that. I think she calls it Dante. Well, anyway, he sounded like they got the same name as their cat. My mum and teachers said being a YouTuber isn't a good job. My mum and teacher said being a YouTuber isn't a good job. COVID hits. YouTubers still have a job as other people are losing their jobs or unable to work. My mum and teacher said, being a YouTuber isn't a good job. COVID hits. YouTubers still have a job as other people are losing their jobs or unable to work. Did you mean YouTube is a good job or it isn't? I mean, obviously, I don't get paid for doing YouTube videos. Like the ones that are people that have got thousands and thousands of subscribers, they get ad revenue. So some of them make a full-time living, obviously, off YouTubing, and that's why YouTubers, do still have a job, and other people are losing their jobs or are able to work. So, and I'm an author, so if people keep buying my books, I still have a job in that way. But, it's not the type of money that I would need to really live on. So that's why I've got 3 new businesses this year that I'm going to be launching. They told you it's not, and I think it is. Now the YouTubers that have it as a job still have a job. Yes, my life, I'm with you now. I understand you. They said it's not a good job, but they were wrong because the COVID hits and YouTubers still got their job and other people are losing their jobs or unable to work. It's very true. A lot of online business is a way to do it. I've got 3 online businesses I need to launch this year, plus my Asexual Guide to Sex book I need to get published. So I've got a lot of work to do. But I've got to pace myself because I've got my health issues in my body as well that I've got to keep stress levels minimum because I don't want any more problems. Do you know what I mean? So I've got to weigh up like health with getting on. You're an inspiration. Oh, thank you. That's really sweet. I really appreciate it. Lots of love. It's really kind of you. So Sam, consider the amount of lives you have already impacted in just a few years. It will continue to go up and up. You will accomplish a lot more and help a great many people. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, Sam. Oh, you're such a dear friend. Yes, Neo from Matrix. Sam, take care of yourself. Your health comes first. Yeah. Obviously, I have to make sure my health is as best as it can be. So I have to make sure I'm watching more movies lately to relax to. I have to make sure the work I'm doing is work that I can do. It's like I've had ear pain. I think I'm not sure if I've got ear infections as well, but I think I've had like ear and jaw pain for the last couple of nights. It makes it harder to work like that, but I still have to try and work through it. Do you know what I mean? As much as possible, but sometimes I just have to rest. That's true. That's true. You're one of the ones that helped me see my sexuality is valid. I'll type out, yeah. Oh, thank you. That's nice. My life. Your sexuality is very valid. Your sexuality is very, very valid. Yeah, I think it's important as well because obviously even though I'm not a textbook grey asexual, I've got grey areas, and I find that strange sometimes, but it is what it is. I guess I was born the way I'm born to help lots of different types of asexuals because I've got little different bits in me. Like, I'm definitely 100% not sexually attracted to anyone, but I do have high arousal levels. So I kind of understand grey asexuals well. And obviously, have the grey area of passionate kissing without the sex. So the grey area of passionate kissing, it's very grey, it's very sexual in behaviour. Yeah, I have zero sexual attraction, so that's why I kind of understand grey asexuals a lot, even though I'm not textbook grey asexual. So and obviously I'm romantic and a hyper romantic. The only thing I don't experience any platonic attraction, not whatsoever. I have loads of different other attractions which I never knew about, so I can separate all my different types of attractions, like romantic attraction, aesthetic attraction, intelligence attraction, creative attraction, clothes attraction, emotional attraction. Obviously for some people, guys, obviously because I'm not attracted to women, I can get multiple of them at the same time or just one or two. So that makes life very interesting. But yeah, no platonic attraction is always a difficult one. Like, it immediately skips. So that's probably obviously why I already had some romantic attraction a little bit experiencing some romantic feelings when the guy was texting me, I would say today, it was yesterday now, from my YouTube channel, because I knew that he liked my look and I knew that he was aesthetically nice to look at, and also we were getting on well in the text. So that's why that happens. My life, my friends to me are family. Yes, I was saying to Sam, friends are the family we choose for ourselves. And Sam has said that me and Andy are like family to them, and Sam and Andy are like family to me as well. We're like the top trio. I'm not going to say the terrible trio. I'm going to say the top trio. My life, it's beyond platonic. It's siblinghood. Okay. Yeah, I have like Sam, Andy, and Debbie, who I don't really speak about in terms of name that much on this channel. But they're all three of those are my best friends. Sam's like I've got really close to, bestest friend I 100% trust with my life, actually. My best friend Debs, I've known her since 2012, so I've known her for a very, very, very long time. And then Andy, I knew before Sam knew them. I knew Sam before Andy knew them. I introduced them both, and we're all friends now. Um, like, so yeah, but Sam and me are very close friends. Like, I couldn't wish for a better friend. I'm still close to 3 people I first met in 2nd and 3rd grade, and we're now seniors in high school. That's really nice. Like, all the people from when I was younger, I don't have as close friends anymore. Some of them are still on Facebook as friends, but that's it. They've all gone pretty much. The last person I used to see, they don't, they've got their own life going on. They don't want to see me anymore, and that's fine. I've just got people now in my life, but the people now in my life, the friends, the bestest friends I've ever had in my life. They are with me through thick and thin, and they're really supportive and caring, and I couldn't wish for better friends. So I'm really glad. Sam, both of my best friends I met at Exeter within the last few years, best true friends I've had. Oh, thank you, Sam. Yeah, it's really, really good. Yeah, it's good. It's good I introduced you and Andy together as well. It's really cool. But yeah, it's really nice. We're good three people as friends. Really good. So it's excellent. I feel really looked after by Sam. Really looked after, even though we're quite a long way from each other physically. Like during this situation, Sam's really been there for me a heck of a lot. My life, my Jehovah's Witness mum said that you can't trust non JWs and that they'll turn on you when hard times hit. She was wrong, and I always knew it. My dad raised me better than my mum, and I listened to my instincts. Jehovah's Witnesses, and they'll turn on you. Yeah, you listen to your instincts, my life. Instincts are so important. They're so important in dating, in relationships, in friendships, and in life, and vice versa. Sandra, thank you so much. Thank you. You know, I feel even closer to my friend Sam because instincts are very important. They are very important, you know. I follow my instincts all the time. Like I am like got to do my Asexual Guide to Sex book. Then I have 3 businesses that I've got launched this year because my instincts tell me to do that. Obviously, if some businesses take off more than the others, and I just like, you know, I haven't got to be afraid to change my mind or to adapt or to like just see how it goes. But all 3 of them I really wanted to launch by September. It's like kind of like a big task, right? But I've just got to know that if it doesn't happen, if you know, if I don't get all 3 launched, that's okay. And whatever happens is okay, you know, because I might find that one business just takes massively off and I've got to give more time to that because it's just going really well and it's just going phenomenally well. And I need to dedicate all my time to it other than being, you know, on this channel because I still want to help asexuals. So I've got to fit in all the stuff I do for asexuals. Publish my Asexual Guide to Sex is my next mission after I've finished these launch these 2 courses. So I'm currently doing creating a course which is how to arrange an online asexual meetup. Well, how to arrange a successful online asexual meetup. Since my first one I consider a huge success actually. So and that's I'm doing that, creating that at the moment. So I'm coming close to finishing that already actually. And then I'll be launching that and the Asexual Meetup Mastery officially. And then when I've done that, then I'm going to be going, well, start back on Monday, this Monday, with my Asexual Guide to Sex the day after today now, because it's Sunday. So I'll be getting that done. I want to get that done in the next, well, I don't know if I can do it in a month. It might be 2 months now, but I want to get that done. And then my businesses, I want to like launch. It's like, ooh, my life, my spirit isn't human, and I think that's part of what saved me from dedicating my life to a cult hiding behind a religious mask. Oh yeah, you don't want to do that. My draw towards my instincts is stronger than humans, most humans. Some have really, really good instincts. Yeah, I have very good instincts. If I go against my instincts, my life is not good. So I don't do that anymore. I just totally go with my flow of instincts all the time. So I'm always happy overall, really. Like I do have some times where my mind has a bit of a freak out session or it's not as good as it could be. But overall, so long as I'm at one with my soul and following my instincts all the time, I'm good. Do you know what I mean? So long as I'm on my path. And I just have to follow where the path leads. You know, like this year I'm getting rid of some more domain names, which is quite a big deal for me. So I'm cutting down on the stuff that I don't need anymore in my life and getting on with business stuff that I do want to try and do, you know. So I'm just kind of narrowing down my niches. Obviously, asexuality is a huge part of my life. I've been helping people on this channel for 5 years, so I want to keep doing that. I'm really looking forward to my Asexual Guide to Sex coming out book. I just think it's going to be phenomenal. It'll be the best thing I've ever written, I think. Well, it's not me who's written it, is it really? It's a lot of the other people that's in the book has done a lot of the writing, you know. I just think it's an incredible incredible piece of literature, as well as incredible stories and people that contribute to that book. I can't thank them enough. I literally believe that book could change the whole course of history where asexuality and sexuality is concerned in general. There's nothing like it on the market out there. My life, like the wolf, I want a life of freedom, one where I am the one in charge of my life. That sounds like me as well. I like both dragon and wolf. I seek wisdom and knowledge, and I'm loyal to those that I care about most. That's really, really good to my life. Really, 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 really good. Yeah. Well, I like my freedom, don't I? That's why I like to work online. Like all the businesses I'm coming up with, they're all online. All of it's online. Requires more YouTube shows. I'm gonna be maxed out. Eventually I'm gonna like be maxed out with about 4 niches, I think it is. And book writing as well, so kind of 5. I love science, God, the universe, and I seek for truth. It's really, really important. Really, really important. Yeah. Yeah, it's really important. I think going to your instincts is so important. That applies to dating and relationships. You know, when you first meet someone, always look at your instincts as well. But obviously, you've got to be careful that your instincts aren't like your instincts are good, but you've also got to be careful that you're not being fearful for the wrong reasons, and that you're being cautious for the right reasons as well. And so I think it's really important. I think instincts are so important. I think listening to your inner being, your inner child is very, very, very important. Very, very important. Like, I know I'm not normal. I've known that for a very, very long time. But I'm happy that I'm not normal. I wasn't born for normality. Indeed, must recognise red flags. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So every type of relationship has good flags and red flags. I don't think relationships should have many red flags. Usually, if if you have 3 red flags in a relationship, you should leave the relationship, because more than three or more red flags that are not good. Red flags are things that are dangerous and not healthy in a relationship. There will always be times of good and bad in a relationship, but the bad times shouldn't be dangerous. So your life shouldn't be threatened. You shouldn't be fearing for your life. You shouldn't be being controlled or manipulated. Do you know what I mean? You can have friends that are real friends and some aren't good and have red flags. So you leave those with red flags. You can have friends that are real friends and some aren't good and have red flags. So you leave those with red flags. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You should also leave any people that come into your life that potential relationship that got 3 red flags or more. Just get the heck out there. It's not worth it. It's not worth risking your life or your self over. I come across a lot of people with red flags. That's why I've got to be so careful. I've got to be so careful I don't do projection, like project my ideal type of relationship on them, romantic, and ignore red flags. It's really important not to do that. Really important not to do that. You've got to listen intently to what they say and work out if what they're saying is the truth, or not. Work out what they're saying. Is it actually what they are about, or are they just saying things to make you think a certain way? It's like, obviously, especially applies to sexuals. A lot of sexuals will say stuff to asexuals that just simply isn't true. Like, oh, I could go without sex in a relationship. A lot of guys couldn't, for example. And a lot of women do like sex as well. My mum is toxic. I've had to push away false friends, and I've had to ignore bad exes. It's important. My life. Yeah. I mean, I had this friend when I was a kid, or I had them as my so-called best friend, and eventually I stopped being friends with them. And my dad was kind of like, "Oh, why did you do that for?" and stuff like that. But I did the right thing, because I shouldn't have been friends with them, because it was all one-sided relationship, and I'm worth more than that. I'm worth a damn sight more than that, And this person used to get really funny about even me asking about how their grandma was. They used to snap at me, and I never understood it. And so, but it wasn't, I hadn't done anything wrong, and so sometimes you have to just let kind of so-called friends out of your life that aren't really your friends, that that aren't treating you well, because you have to realize that you're worth more than that. And sometimes not everyone will agree with it, but it's better to cut them off, cut them out, because there's no point. I was friends with that person for a very long time, but it's one-sided. I used to have to go out like after 9 o'clock at night and ring them from a phone box as well. They would never do stuff like that for me. All one-sided. Pretty much most of my childhood was, majority of it, spent having one-sided friendships, apart from one girl who lived not far from my parents, like not next door, but the one after. But she don't have anything to do with me anymore. She'll speak to my parents, but not me. But I don't know if that's because I'm asexual, because I met her her brother's in her brother's in a band with another guy, and she met me and added me on Facebook. Then she just like unfriended me. I don't know if that's because I'm asexual, but I don't really care. She doesn't like it. Tough. My mum said she loves me unconditionally, but she'll retract that, saying when I come out of the closet. But she'll retract that, saying when I come out of the closet. Well, I think she should come out of the closet, my life. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if she says she loves you unconditionally, then you need to just turn around and say, well, you said you love me unconditionally. That's what you told me, Mum. I trusted you. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you know what I mean? She might just come around anyway. She might accept it. She's trying to get me to get baptized, which will require me leaving my boyfriend. No. I'm not going to sell my soul to a false religion, let alone leave the man I love and have been with for 8 months and plan to stay with for the rest of my life. Yeah. It's like my parents never did anything like that to me. My parents are really good like that because I haven't been baptized or christened. And my parents always left me to decide if I wanted to do that when I'm older, which is really, really lovely of them. Really, really lovely. Do you know what I mean? So you know what I mean? It's unfortunately some mothers are quite controlling, and it's sad, really. But you have to go with what you know is right and true for you. And sometimes mothers do try and come in between girls and their boyfriends, or guys and their boyfriends, or their siblings and their boyfriend. Did I say that right? Basically mothers come in between their siblings. Is that right? Offspring. Children, basically. I think I said that kind of wrong, but never mind. But yes, what I'm trying to say is sometimes mothers, unfortunately, some mothers come between their partner and their, Sam, as your name says, it's your life. Yeah, my life. Can't wait till I move out and leave the cult. Yeah, it's no good, that environment for you, my life, sometimes mothers are over possessive. My mum isn't, but I know from my exes, their mums are very over possessive, controlling, and you'd think the mum was their girlfriend. It's like, am I in a relationship with you, or am I in a relationship with your mother? Because your mother seems to control your whole life, and I don't like that. I don't want a mummy's boy again. It drives me up the frigging wall, to be quite honest with you. Do you know what I mean? It's like, who pulls the apron strings, you or your mum? Do you know what I mean? I can't be. I get on better with guys in general. I don't want to be like, me and the mother. It's good. It's really weird though, because the very first guy I was serious about when I was 16, I actually got on really well with his mother. His mother was the opposite. She was really nice to me, and I got on really, really well with her. But he was the one who dumped me after 6 months after he pressurized me into having sex. That wasn't good. But his mum was really nice, and I got on with his sister as well. So they're not all idiots. People don't think Jehovah's Witnesses are a cult, excuse me, but after looking in depth, I not only was noticing things I didn't agree with for years, but recently last month have found John Cedars, Mr. Atheist, and Telltale. They opened my eyes to the real truth that Jehovah's Witnesses are a cult. A cult is kind of short for culture, isn't it? They have dark secrets. Yeah, I don't really get involved that much in religion to know about it, or non-religion, or what Jehovah's Witness. I don't really get involved. My mum, she'll talk to her old guy who's a Jehovah's Witness, and my mum says she thinks, like, just talk to him like a friend. He's an old guy that comes around, and she says that she's probably the only one that talks to him. And I think he's a guy in his 80s, so she just makes conversation, and he goes, I think he just likes her to talk to. So I don't know if they're all like that. I don't know if they're all, like that, or if there's just certain sections of it like that. I have no idea. I guess it's not something I would look into, because I'm not strictly religious, or I'm not that way anyway. So, but yeah, my mum says she talks to this old bloke, and he comes and, just talks to her about stuff, like not necessarily to do with his stuff, just life in general. She said, I think he doesn't see many people. So I think that's really nice. My mum does that, really. Do you know what I mean? My mum's Christian. So yeah. But yeah, I don't know anything about that. It's something good you've researched that for yourself though, my life. It's important to know these things, you know. It's surprising what you learn when you do research. You can learn a lot of dark stuff, but always remember to make sure you have some light stuff in your mind after that, because learning dark stuff about things is not good for them, for our mind. Do you know what I mean? It can have a big impact on us. So it's kind of, we need to get the information we need and get the heck out of there. Do you know what I mean? Sam, I just told them I'm attracted to guys. They haven't been back. I love that, Sam. That's so funny. My life, not all of them are bad people. Most are blindly following. Laugh out loud. I think that's great, Sam. You just were yourself and then they went. Sorry, I just pour myself water because my throat's getting a bit like croaky. I got to watch that. Sounds weird when I'm pouring water. Sounds like a waterfall. I just think of it as a romantic waterfall. But yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I don't really have any people coming like that because I live in a flat upstairs, so I don't have to speak to anyone like that usually. Do you know what I mean? But I guess I take people as I find them and do research about them as and when I need to, you know. And oh, Sam, I love waterfalls. So do I. They're very romantic, actually. I like Professor Bubbleworks, which I think since gone, hasn't it? And it's where you go on these boats and then all the water comes down like a waterfall and it's all multicolours. That's so romantic and beautiful. That was at Chessington theme park. Oh, just love it. Really, really romantic. Because obviously I'm really romantic girl. I am in a romantic mood at the moment, I have to say. After watching Aladdin 3 times, it's like I want. What, you want a waterfall or you want to go to Chessington and see the waterfalls? Oh, they're really, really nice. Really, really, really nice. But yes, they're very beautiful. But I don't know if it's still there or not because I haven't been to Chessington for a while. I find a guy to take with me. Yeah, I was going to say if it's romantic, you probably need a guy. I find Disneyland Paris very romantic, but I know I might be going there with you one day. I'll have to go with you one day as a friend and go with a romantic guy another time. Yeah. JW, would you like to hear about the word of Jehovah? Me, hey honey, could you come here for a moment? Person walks over there. Same gender, person, yes, dear, kisses. JW, Jehovah's Witness. Same typo. Yeah. Yeah, you've just got to be yourself. You've just got to be yourself, you know. Sometimes all it takes is to be yourself. Yeah. So I think it's really, really important to be yourself in life, whatever comes your way. I think it's important that, you know, you find people in your life, friends, and if you're looking for a romantic partner, a romantic person, and you know, just find people who are really genuine too. Waves gay flag as I open the door. Yes. Yeah, my life, you know what to do now. Sam's just told you the secret. Just say you're gay and they'll be fine. They'll be like, oh, okay, bye. I mean, obviously, Sam's a homo. Well, no, Sam's pan romantic actually, but they're into guys as well, particularly. So yeah, so not traditional sexual gay, like homo romantic. Well, pan romantic, but preference for guys. So yeah, Sam, I think you should find a nice guy to take with you. They were coming round every week for months until I told them that. That's really funny. That's really funny. People should accept people for who they are, you know? People really should. You know, it's like I get on well with people who are, like, for example, guys. I get on well with guys who are autistic, which is kind of like a bit out there in terms of, like, I really get on with guys who are autistic, you know? Like, I get attracted to guys who are autistic because they're very, like, young and fun like me. My life, I saw a meme saying Jedi's witnesses. Hello, would you like to hear the way of the Force? You will open the door, you will listen. Oh, bless. Oh, that's funny. I just you know, I just take people as I find them. So if, you know, I haven't really come across many. It was a thing mocking Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh, well, I guess I don't like personally mocking people overall, because I don't want people to mock other minorities and different people. So I guess it's not good mocking other people. Door-to-door invasion of privacy. It's invasion of privacy. That's if you open the door to them. You don't have to open the door to them. Do you know what I mean? People choose to open the door to them. You don't have to open the door to them. And you can always open the door to them and say, I'm not interested, but thank you very much. Goodbye. Do you know what I mean? So people do have a choice in life, and they can choose to say and not participate. So instead of like shunning them or mocking them, you can just say, look, I'm not really interested, but I appreciate you coming to me. Thank you very much. But I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people aren't brave enough to do that. I never felt good about doing door to door, and I've heard tons of people being annoyed by them for door to door. Yeah, I mean, I personally don't think it's great to go door to door, but as salespeople, people that are trying to sell, for example, I've known sales jobs that involve that. When you're trying to sell, for example, Sky, or they're trying to sell charity stuff. There's jobs that actually pay people to go door to door and stuff. So it's not just Jehovah's people that do that; it's other people as well. Personally, it's not great, but even the salespeople that have to do it, it's a hard job, actually. Not that I'm saying Jehovah's people are salespeople, but I mean, obviously, Jehovah's people are still trying to sell you their idea of their religion, so they're still, everyone's a salesperson, really, because everyone tries to sell you the idea of their opinion being right. Obviously, the world's just made up of full of different opinions, to be quite honest with you. But it is, but we know we have a choice whether we open the door to them or where we say no. Do you know what I mean? They started using kids to get people to listen to them. Yeah, it's not good. It's a sick move. Yeah, it's yeah, it's doesn't sound good at all. You know, but I think people need to use their judgment of these people, and like, you've done research. It's good you've done research and found out the truth of the research, providing the research is truthful, which I expect if you've done good research. I just it's not good. Yeah, but I just think in life it's best to find out these things and to leave that type of scenario well as much as possible, because we don't want to be living in the dark shadow of the darkness from others. Do you know what I mean? So I try and find out information and things as much as possible, then leave the situation once I've found out the information I need, because darkness breeds darkness. It's kind of good to like find out stuff and then to use it as much as possible to help yourself and get the heck out of there, really, and leave that behind and move on to more light stuff and good stuff. I'm lucky that I don't have that in my life. I don't have to deal with that. But if I did, I could choose to either speak to those people or not to speak to them. Do you know what I mean? I think I've spoken to people like that in the very, very past when I was a little kid myself. I think the easiest way to keep them away is to tell them you're an ex-Jehovah's Witness, even if you aren't. I'll never ring your door again. I wouldn't lie about anything. I don't lie about anything like that. I just don't lie. If I didn't want to speak to them, I either wouldn't open the door to them, wouldn't answer them and wait till they went away, or I'd say something to them. If I didn't want to speak to them, if I just wanted to speak to them to see what they had to say, be polite or whatever, talk to them for a chat and off they go, I'd do that. They aren't allowed to talk to ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh, I presume that's something to do with the darkness, is it? To do with their secrets. Because they're ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. And that therefore they're not going to want to speak to Jehovah's Witnesses because they could ex-Jehovah's Witnesses because they could turn them. Is that what you're saying? Shunning. All right, yeah. Well, I think it's good that you found all this out for yourself, my life. I think it's really good. I think we have to find things out for ourselves in life over a period of time, and then we have to use the information wisely for our own circumstances. You know, it's cool. Families don't have to, but are encouraged to, and often do. Families what are encouraged to shun ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah, I mean, I don't like any of that type of thing. I think people should just be free to be who they want to be in life, you know? I really do think they should be free to be who they want to be in life, and you know, everyone should just be who they want to be and take people as they come. Shun family members, it's sad. I mean, obviously there's a lot of people that are LGBT people that are shunned by their families as well for their sexuality. I don't think any of it's good. Do you know what I mean? I think people should just be free to be who they want to be, believe in what they want to believe. When I leave, I bet my mum will shun me. I think your mum loves you too much. I think she's a bit, in a obsessive way sometimes. Like a kind of controlling way. Maybe not obsessive's the right word. Kind of controlling way sometimes because she doesn't want to lose you. So I don't think it would be forever, even if she did. But I think obviously, like sometimes when you leave your parents or your mum or whoever, when you've not gone on the path they wish you to have, then sometimes with some families, they may not speak. Do you know what I mean? I have known that to happen. Um, as toxic as she is, I still want her to be part of my life. Yeah, so I'm sure she would still want to be part of you. I don't think she can actually live without you in her life because she's quite controlling in some ways, but I know partly it's because she kind of only has you, isn't it? So it's coming from a place of scarcity mindset and kind of like scaredness on her part, I think. So I think whatever happens, even if she has a bit of a like reaction that's not necessarily going to be what you want, first of all, I think she'd come round because I think she wants you and needs you in her life, probably more than probably more than you know. So I think she'll still be part of your life. I think you just have to be yourself. I think you need to come out of who you really are, and you just need to be yourself. And sometimes if you're yourself and you stick up for what you believe in and you speak your truth, it might be a little bit awkward at first, but sometimes after a while that person can respect you more because they think, you're an adult now. So I don't like, for example, the more you be yourself, the more mum can see you're an adult, the more she'll think, well, it's fine for you to be with your boyfriend because she'll know that you're making a good decision because you're deciding for yourself, because you're able to decide for yourself things about the situation with yours and hers relationship, like being yourself. Do you see what I mean? So by being yourself and coming out of the closet and just being who you are, yes, it might be awkward at first. Yes, there might be some rah rah rahs going on, but that usually goes eventually because it's just like, what's the point in keep going on about it? There isn't. So that usually dies down, and and if you just keep being you, if they just love you for who you are, they're eventually just gonna have to accept it, aren't they? And I have to just accept the way it is. And sometimes if you do stick up and be truly who you are, they can see you're more as an adult, then they trust you to make more decisions on your own and become less controlling. And therefore, it's important. She actually said she can legally ground me at 18 because I live under her roof and God. But in reality, it's illegal. And I, at 18, despite living with her, I'm legally allowed to go where I want. Mm. Yeah, it's a very difficult one, isn't it, when you live under someone else's roof? Because, it's very difficult because obviously it's their home. So they could equally tell you, well, you can leave and get your own place then, because I don't have to legally look after you anymore because you can legally look after yourself now. So it's kind of a difficult scenario. Do you know what I mean? You're perfectly right that you're legally allowed to go wherever you want. I don't know what the law obviously is in your country because I'm in a different country. But do you know what I mean? So there's different laws for different countries. And I know in one, she likes having someone to control. I think she gets afraid of losing you, doesn't she? So, you know what I mean? And she talking about projection. When I was talking about projection, this the beginning of this video, you know, I think she projects a lot of her fears of losing you onto you. So do you know what I mean? I think it's a lot of projection of her own inner fears, which is why she has this controlling behavior. It's fearful, you know, and scaredness probably. But I think if you just come out the closet, be your true self, stick up for what you believe in, you know, like if you're saying to your mum's saying about being baptized, just say, no, mum, it's not for me. Thank you very much for the offer. I really appreciate you caring about me, but it's not for me. It's not what I want in my life. Because only then will she see you're an adult, and then she'll have to stop so much control. The more you are genuinely yourself, the more you are who you were born to be, the more you speak to her on an adult level and say, look, this is not what I want in my life. This is what I want in my life, right? I love you in my life. I want you to stay in my life. And this is my life. This is what I want to do. And I want to share this with you, you know, try and maybe do that type of thing. You know, so instead of her controlling you, say, I want you in my life, but I want to be able to make my own decisions, and this is what I've decided. You know, and I'd like you to still, you know, be in my life. But this is what I'm prepared to stand my ground, basically. You know, you have to be prepared to walk away at the same time as her wanting you in at the same time as wanting her in your life. You have to also be prepared to walk away at the same time. That's the same with any relationship as well. If a relationship becomes controlling, you have to like be prepared to walk away from it, however much you love the other person, because otherwise it'll end up being toxic, and you know, you don't want to end up in a toxic relationship. So it's important to be able to look after yourself. That's why I like living on my own, so I don't get into a toxic relationship ever again. I don't want to end up, you know, like being financially dependent on some bloke who ends up being no good for me. It's not good. I have to wait to show her my true self, because if I do before I'm able to move out, she'd take away my phone and monitor everything I do. She truly is like that, and I'm not joking. Okay. Well, you know best, my life, because she's your mum, so you know best. But you can still. P.S. I bought this phone with my money. Oh, that's nice. You on your phone at the moment, are you? Oh, bless you. Yeah, it's good that you save up and buy stuff for yourself as well. But I think, you know, in terms of baptizing, I hope you said to her that, you know, thanks for the offer, but I don't want to do that. Do you know what I mean? Living alone is great. Yeah, it is, Sam. It's really, really good. I do like living on my own. I don't want to be living with some person. I like to take care of myself financially. My life, she reads my diaries till I started to call them journals. Sam, still want a partner to cuddle sometimes, though. Yeah, I do find like the worst time for me to be on my own is when I'm really seriously sick, really ill. That's the only time I really feel it's difficult me being completely on my own, because it's like when I'm really sick. But I know that you're on the phone usually if I'm really, really ill, so I've got you via phone now, so it's really good. My life, I can't close my door without her getting nosy and wanting to know what I'm doing. My dad, on the other hand, has always respected my privacy. Oh yeah, my life. Some people are like that, aren't they? So yeah, I guess you'll have to just wait till you move out then. Yeah, it's horrible. I was very fortunate with my parents. Like I never had a lock on my bedroom door. My parents didn't come in usually. You know, I didn't have that. So I was very fortunate with my parents in that respect. You know, I'd spent a lot of time on my own in my bedroom in the past, which probably why I love bedroom now. I love this bedroom. Love it so much. I love having my own bedroom. My boyfriend's parents are amazing. That's really good you get on with your boyfriend's parents. It's really important, because like his family will then become like your family, and so you'll always have kind of that unit there to support you. One of my online friends, their they're trans, their husband is their husband's dad supports them fully, whereas their own mother and auntie are really bad. They can't see them, so very bad, particularly auntie, very bad. I can't say how, because obviously it's private, but yeah, so luckily they have got his husband his husband well, yeah, he's got his they or his husband They got his husband's dad. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry. The rest of the family wants to meet me when the pandemic is over, and I'm excited for it. That's really good. That's really, really good. That's really good. This is all good, my life. This is all good. I think it's very important, you know. It's important if you can get on with your partner's family to do it. And you know that your boyfriend's really serious as well. That's another thing I'd say with dating, because obviously I originally started talking about dating on this channel, is that you know a guy or girl, or whatever gender, you know the person's serious about you if they want to introduce you to their family. So they only usually do that if they're serious about wanting a relationship with you, you know, introduce you to their family. You know, they're serious then, because they wouldn't bother going to all that trouble if they didn't think you were worth it and wanted to be with you long term. So you should always look out for that type of thing, you know. When they start getting really, really serious, that's when they bring the parents in. It's like, oh, it's time for you to meet the parents now. Do you know what I mean? I mean, obviously, you know, if you still live at home, then your friends might see your parents anyway. Um, but you know, if you don't live at home anymore, especially, then you know, if they want to see your parents, it's amazing. You know, like I need to get someone who is okay about me being public asexual, because obviously if I meet someone's family, I'm not going to keep quiet about my asexuality. It's not going to happen, people. So do you know what I mean? I don't want to be with a guy who's like, oh, you have to keep quiet about your asexuality because my family don't know about my asexuality. It's like, no, sorry, I'm being me. I don't want to be kept cooped up at like a zoo animal. Do you know what I mean? Oh, that's great, my life. Good luck. Yeah, I feel our energies have bonded because I've started being psychic, able to feel how he's feeling or know something happened, but not knowing the details. This is really good, my life. Yeah, that's more of a soulmate connection, isn't it? It's really, really good. It's really good. Sometimes I can get out with friends and stuff too, but it's really, really good. Um, yeah, it's really good. You know, I think it's great, and it's really nice when parents, you know, like are involved. But like I said, for me, I'm openly asexual, so whoever gets to be in a relationship with me, I can't be hidden. I won't be like, you know, I've got to have a family that really kind of like, are they ready for an energetic, bubbly girl? Because that's what I am, and I'm quite outspoken, so they better be ready for me. Well, I'll just stay single forever. So I don't want to be hitting in-laws again, or potential in-laws. Well, I'm not getting married, but as good as in-laws, theoretically, if I was married. I don't want to get those type of people that don't like who I am. It wouldn't work. Do you know what I mean? It's like I can't be doing with it ever again. You know, so I need a guy whose family I get on really, really well with, like an extended family of my own, really. Um, because that would work out really well then, you know. And I'm not, like, as you know, I'm just not quiet about my asexual. I don't want to be, you know. So I need to be with a guy who's really strong like that, and who likes an older girl as well, and not afraid of telling his parents, look, I mean, I look really young anyway, but you know, if they think they're older, or if age really is a big deal to the parents, you know, like I've got to have a really strong young guy like that, someone who doesn't give a toss what their parents think. You know, someone who's like, my parents, I respect them, but I still got my own life and my own opinion, and I'll choose who I want to choose. And I'm proud to be with an asexual girl. They didn't know I'm in the LGBT plus, so I get to come out to a family that one day I'll officially be part. They don't know that I'm in the LGBT plus, so I get to come out to a family that one day I'll officially be part of. I'll get to experience what it's like to come out to an accepting family. My boyfriend is in LGBT plus and had come out to them already, and they supported him. Oh, that's really good. That's really, really good, my life. Really, really, really good. Is your boyfriend actually asexual then, or are they bisexual? Or I think you said they're not asexual, didn't you originally? So are they bisexual, or are they trans, or what? I didn't. Oh, they're bisexual. That's good. Yeah, that person I was talking about, the trans guy who is married, their husband is bisexual, um, as well. So yeah, um, well, I say their husband's bisexual. I think their husband's actually. I don't know if their husband's gay or bisexual. So they're trans. but they're still female in body because they don't actually have the official. They haven't officially changed their body, but they do look. They wear suits and look like a guy, if you know what I mean. So, but I think they said their husband's either bi or their husband's gay. But as they're a trans guy, it's fine. They have a kid together. I always, because I knew this person before they identified as trans. I knew them as female, then agender, then trans guy, but they're still female in body. So I think they said their husband is gay. I think they said that, but I'm not sure if it's gay or bi. But yeah, I think it's like if I met a guy who was bi romantic, for example, with a preference for specifically me as a female, it'd be fine. But I think mostly probably I'd be suited to a hetero-romantic the most. But a lot of the bi people that I come across, the bi, like asexual guys, for example, a lot of them have a preference for guys rather than women the majority of the time. So, yeah, I don't mind if I like loads of guys and just me as a girl. That'd be quite nice. But do you find with bi though? Do you find that a bi person has both male and female traits more than the average hetero person? Because I think some bi people have both more masculine and feminine qualities, and they need to kind of balance that out with the person they're with. So I knew a female in my old job. She was bisexual, into BDSM a lot as well, and she was very, very bisexual. So yeah, but she did have a boyfriend. But she said that it was interesting dynamic between them because she was like sometimes taking the male role and he sometimes took the female role, and then they kind of swapped over. I know that when I come out, my two uncles and my aunt on mum's side will accept me because my aunt has a son or something who forgot who. They came out as gay and supports them, and my two uncles are chill too. I think everyone's different. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah. And everyone's different in terms of bi. Yeah, because I thought it was really interesting when I was listening to the bisexual girl in my old job when she was saying about the dynamic between her and her boyfriend of having masculine and feminine, and them kind of swapping those roles quite a lot. I thought it was very interesting to listen to what she had to say. So, I mean, I've never, ever, ever been attracted to females in my life. I'm attracted to guys. I don't mind a guy having some feminine qualities. I don't mind a guy having some feminine eyelashes. I think feminine eyelashes on a guy look really nice. So quite a lot of foreign guys, I think, have got these really beautiful brown feminine eyelashes, and I think they look really good on a guy. So I don't mind something like that. Do you know what I mean? But I like a guy to look like a guy. Because I'm only attracted aesthetically to guys. And I wouldn't want to be with a woman. I don't like women's bodies. Apart from my own, I don't like women's bodies. Like I wouldn't want to be anything with a woman's bodies. I'm not interested in a guy below the waist, but I'd rather be with a guy below the waist than with a woman. So yeah, my boyfriend is bi, as in male and female attraction, but still loves me and sees me as me despite being non-binary. My boyfriend is bi, as in the male and female attraction, but still loves me and sees me as me despite being non-binary. Yeah, I think if I had there's tons of different types of bisexuality. Thank you. Yeah, I have thought like if a guy, if a person was guy in body and then non-binary identifying, how would I feel about that? But I think if I still thought it would be difficult, because I would still see them as a guy in my mind because I'm not attracted to women. Do you know what I mean? So, but don't mind if they have some feminine qualities and some feminine traits because I have guy traits. Don't have a problem with that. It's the aesthetics that I need to be a guy for me personally. But if I really, really liked a guy, but they weren't a guy anymore, they were non-binary, but they were guy in body, that would be like, in my mind, I would still think of them as a guy, even though they personally identify as non-binary, and I'd have to respect the fact that they're non-binary, obviously, and make sure I remember to use the correct pronouns. But I would still, in my mind, think they're a guy because aesthetically, I would be attracted to them because they were guy in body for me personally, but that's very difficult to say, you know, because I don't want to upset any people. You know, because if they don't think they are, that's fine. But that's how I would personally see the person. But I think it's probably better for me to have a hetero person. But yeah, because obviously there might be an Indian guy that identifies as non-binary, which obviously he wouldn't be technically a guy anymore. But if he was guy in body and I thought he still looked like a guy and was really aesthetically attracted to him, do you know what I mean? But if he changed to be a woman, I couldn't be attracted to him. Well, I'm not attracted to women. Kind of like the straight guy who falls in love with a girl that later comes out. Kind of like straight guy falls in love with a girl that later comes out as male to female and transitions, and the boyfriend still loves them no matter what and sees them as who they are, not as what they are, into type situation. It's happened before, female to male. Male to female. Oh, female to male. See, if I was a guy, I'd be into guys. I know that. Didn't catch it till now. Oops. Yeah. So if I was a guy, I'd be into guys. I know that. But I'm not a guy. Because I'm always into guys. I'm not into women. So I couldn't be with someone who was a guy, then decided later they wanted to change into being a woman. That might sound really horrible, but I'm not aesthetically attracted to women at all. So if I was with a guy who then decided that he would have to transition into a woman, I would support him, but I couldn't be in a relationship with him anymore because he wouldn't be a him, he'd be a her. And I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with a her because I'm hetero, very hetero, you know, very hetero. And so I couldn't be with a guy who transitioned into being a woman. I still have some feelings, as in caringness towards a person. They still probably be like a best friend to me, but I wouldn't want to kiss them. Do you see what I mean? I need kissing in a relationship. I wouldn't want to kiss a guy who changed to be a woman because that's what I'm personally very hetero. But a lot of people aren't the same as me. A lot of people wouldn't mind about that, you know? But I couldn't, you know, I'd still probably be their best friend. I'd still really support them. You know, I've got friends, guy friends, for example, who are cross dressers. You know, if they were for example, if they're themselves in, because they're cross dressers I'm talking about, not trans. So if they are themselves as guys, then I'm attracted to them, maybe some of them, one of them or more. But you know, if they are female, then I'm not attracted to them whatsoever. When they cross dress and dress like a female, I'm just not. There's been cases of straight people or gay people falling in love with someone that later transitions and they still stick with them despite that. It's okay, I understand that, you be you. Yeah, I know there's lots of people that do that. There's lots of people that stick by them. And there's been cases of straight people, gay people fall in love with someone and later transitions. I know there's a lot. I do watch some documentaries like that, or sometimes on YouTube and things, and I think it's great that people can do that. And you know, it might be people might think it's horrible I'm saying that, but I can do that because aesthetics do matter to me. Like some people, I have some friends, and it doesn't matter like what gender they are or how they change, but to me, I don't want to kiss someone who's got boobs like, do you know what I mean, and a vagina, because I'm not interested in women at all. I don't like women's bodies. I can't stand them. I can't stand naked women's bodies. It really makes me want to puke, to be quite frank. The only one I like is my own body. You know what I mean, because I'm not attracted to females whatsoever, you know. And so I don't want to get, I want to try and make sure that whatever guy I get is not going to want to change to be a different gender. If they did, I would still be a friend, I would still be in their life, but I couldn't be in a relationship with them because I wouldn't be aesthetically attracted to them. I wouldn't want to kiss them and stuff. It would be kind of strange for me, you know. I know obviously a lot of bi people it doesn't matter, a lot of pan people it doesn't matter, but I'm really hetero, like really hetero. Like I thought there was one person who was a trans Indian guy, and I did think they were quite aesthetically attractive, but then I thought about it, and I thought I just couldn't be with someone who, I need to be with a cis guy, really. Someone who's born guy and is, born a guy and a guy now. Do you know what I mean? I hate how some trans people have bashed others for not wanting to date someone that's trans. It's non-transphobic. It's just preference. And I, as a trans person, I'm okay with it, and I understand. Spy. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you. I mean, I did. Like I said, there was a person who was Indian, female to male. But the thought of kissing, just thought their lips don't change, do they? They've still got the lips from before, and so it's kind of like, no. And obviously sometimes, like, just because the body changes doesn't mean to say the core of who they are changes necessarily. And so if their core is female and they want to keep that, then I get on better with guys in general. As a person, I've always gotten better with guys overall. I have one female best friend. She's got guy traits. Do you know what I mean? The fact I can fall for anyone, I can see others' perspectives. Oh, thank you, my life. Yeah, because it's difficult for me saying this because I don't want to upset or offend anyone, And I have trans friends. There's one person actually that is a guy, trans guy, and actually, I have thought about them romantically. Took me a bit to put together the words. Most of my friends are guys, mostly trans. Yeah. Like, there's one trans guy I know, which I didn't know they were trans, and they really look like a guy completely. And so I did actually think possibly of romance with them a long time ago, but they've decided they're just into guys now. I think everyone I come across who I like a little bit romantically ends up being attracted more to guys. Like, I'm just the wrong gender, but that's okay. I just keep being female and keep attracting sexual guys, apparently, like I do. Hey! It's not difficult for me to attract the highly sexual guys. Like, I did a stream, was it yesterday's stream? And this guy on Facebook saying, I said, did you actually read? Because he said, I saw you in UK Singles, which is not an asexual dating group. And he was like, I said, did you read my bio? And he was like, no. And I said, I hate sex. He goes, I'm the opposite. I love sex. Do you know what I mean? My life, I've adopted one as my non-binary son. He's a freshman and uses masculine terms like me. That's good. That's good. I mean, I do have trans friends. He's also ace and a furry pan ace. Oh, that's good. Yeah. I mean, the good thing about you being pan, or anyone that's pan, is they can like different genders. So there's more scope for relationship, and more scope for having a relationship. It's got a bigger pool of people to potentially have a relationship with, isn't it? With me, I'm kind of like into guys big time. I feel that he and his brother are my spirit children from my past life. Oh, that's nice. That's really sweet. They're twins. Wow. Wow. That's really nice, my life. It's really, really nice. So, but yeah, I have actually, like I said, I have come across one person who lives locally who's trans guy, but they're into guys. So yeah, most people I know are into guys. Most asexuals I know are into guys. That's quite refreshing that the person that I spoke to recently, which I was talking about at the beginning of this video, who saw me on my channel, they're actually a guy, and they're into females. They're actually really asexual. They really don't like sex, but they like kissing and cuddling. I'm like, yay! Wow, I've met one. Woohoo! And they're in their 20s and they're nice looking and talk to me nicely. So that was good. Hip hip hooray, wasn't it? So yeah, that's really nice. It's very, but obviously this person lives miles away from me. I think twins run in the family. I have two twin spirit siblings that are also trans and not straight. So I guess it can be in genes, laugh out loud. Yeah, it's really interesting because my parents are not asexual. My dad's made that really, really clear. So I don't, because I know I've heard some people say that asexuality can be in the genes, genetic. Because I know some people have said that their mother or their sister is, but I don't know where it comes from because I've not got an asexual family at all. So yeah, mind you, they're more conservative than I am with public displays of affection. My mum and dad don't show any public displays of affection. They're opposite to me like that. Very, 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 very opposite. You would think I'm the sexual one and they're the asexual one in terms of public displays of affection. Because if I've got a guy, I'm sitting on his lap and I'm cuddling him, I'm kissing him, and I'm having a jolly good time sat on his lap without having sex. And my parents are like, "Oh my god, you're kissing in public. How can you do that?" It's because I love kissing in public. It's really good fun. And I like kissing my guy in front of parents as well, even though I don't have a guy. Found out my other spirit dad, long story, will be in a future book. It's pansexual. Oh, that's good. That's really good. So my entire life is pretty gay. That's really, really interesting. Really, really interesting. My life. That's very interesting. Yeah, my life's kind of the opposite. My life's very hetero. But I do have gay friends in my life. I do have homo-romantic friends, pan-romantic friends, bi-romantic friends. I do have lesbian friends, gay friends. I have friends. My spirit mum is bisexual. Yeah, I have a lot of different types of friends, like cross-dresser friends, trans friends. Like the person I've been friends with online for years is trans guy. I said that they're still female and boy, but they're a trans guy, and yeah, married to a guy, got a kid. They're very, very nice. I've known them a long time. It's really interesting because I met them in an asexual group, yet they're actually hypersexual, they found out. But I don't know if they're demisexual, hypersexual. Can I borrow your life for a moment? Missing aesthetic. I don't know whose life you're talking about. Um, so yeah, it's very, very interesting. Very interesting stuff we're talking about. I need some in yeah, so I like hetero. I love being hetero. Mine isn't easy, trust me. Yeah, it's like not something you can just wear like a actual, like jacket, put some gay on or something. That's just ridiculous. Um, but yeah, so I think it's really important to just be yourself and be who you're born to be, and who you love, and who you're attracted to, you're attracted to. And I think that every person is their own individual identity like that, own individual identity. No, I do like being hetero. It's not always an easy life being hetero either. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of difficult sometimes, especially when I don't like sex. As an asexual, I find being a hetero romantic asexual very difficult because, like most heterosexual, well, most guys are heterosexual. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of really hard, I think. Do you know what I mean? I think it's good if you can be attracted to different types of people in terms of the fact you've got a, like more scope for that. Straight parents, gay parents make gay straight parents, gay parents make gay kids. Me, explain the hundreds of non-straight kids that came from straight parents, straight parents. Yeah, exactly. It's like people are born how they're born. Like I'm born asexual, didn't realise it. My parents are definitely not asexual. My dad's made that perfectly clear, you know? And because he said about getting a t-shirt that said, "Oh, my daughter's asexual, but it's a good job I'm not." Which I thought was quite funny. Straight people, gay people on TV make kids gay. Me, I grew up watching straight people, but I'm not straight. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous when some people say, "Oh, make someone asexual." It's like I had this really, really weird thing on meetup.com the other day. And it's like I said, "Where do you fall on the asexual spectrum?" to this guy who's in an asexual meetup group, because I was not sure whether he's really asexual. And he goes, "Oh, I'm not sure I've fully explored that yet," or something. Or what was it? I can't remember what he said now. I don't know if I can get it up actually. It's very, very weird. It's the way he worded it. I can't remember what he said. I'm not sure if I'm fully that yet. It's like, well, you either are asexual or you aren't asexual. It's like he didn't really understand what asexual was. I don't know if I can get it open, because I don't want my stream to just crash. Because if I have too many windows open on my Mac, it gets a bit like weird. But it was on meetup.com, and the guy didn't really sound asexual. It's like, I'll explore it when the lockdown's over. And I'm like, it sounds more like to me you're trying to explore whether you're sexual or not whether you're asexual. I'll see if I can find it. I have to go. Something important came up. All right, my life. Lots of love. Lots of love. Thanks for being on the stream. Yeah, appreciate you being here. I was just going to read the thing out from meetup.com. It's really, really weird. Really, really strange. If I can find it. Yeah. Let me see if the guys put it on there still. If it's still on there. Without me like losing my stream. I don't like having too many windows out on my Mac because it takes a while for things to show up, and sometimes it crashes the whole system. So I'm logging into meetup.com now. But yeah, what I was trying to say is it's horrible when people are like saying that they can become something they're not just for the heck of saying it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, either you are that or you aren't that. You can't make yourself become it. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I can find it. It's not coming up. So yeah, it was just like this person on Meetup. Sorry, that's my Mac. This person on Meetup.com was saying something like they're not sure they're fully asexual yet or something. It's like, well, you are asexual. You're not. If you're not asexual, you're not asexual. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I can get it up because I think it's just stopped. But yeah, it's like, oh, I want to explore that when the lockdown's over, and it's like, well, you'd want to explore that while the lockdown's happening if you're actually asexual, because otherwise it sounds like you're exploring being sexual when the lockdown's over. Do you know what I mean? So it's not something that's very good, really. So yeah, but people should be who they want to be, born who they be who they want to be, regardless of like other people, and be who they were born to be, whether they were born to be the person or body they were actually given or not. Do you know what I mean? Be the person they think they were born to be. So I think people who want to change, or their physical gender should do so. I think people who like to be hetero and enjoy that should continue to do that. I think everyone's different, do you know what I mean? And that differences should be embraced and cherished always, and should just be accepted. Like, it's good that we've got different types of people in the world. It's good that we've got bisexual people and gay people and trans people and cross-dressers and non-binary people. They're all as valid as each other, because they're all unique and different. And so I think it's really important. Let me see if I got a message come up. I think it's really, really important, and it's important to be honest with the person up front. Oh yeah, this is a person on meetup.com. They're like in an asexual dating group, asexual meetup group, sorry. Asexual and aromantic meetup group. And they say, I'm not sure if I'm fully asexual yet or just in denial, but I would like to explore things a bit more once the lockdown is over. So to me, that sounds like they're going to explore whether they're actual sexual or not, or whether they're asexual. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, I'm not sure if I'm fully asexual yet. It's like not something you just try on or try and force yourself to be. You either are or you aren't. Do you know what I mean? Maybe later on you find out you are, but you don't try and force yourself to make yourself asexual because you're not asexual yet. Weird phraseology. But I think it's important to just be you. And like I was saying at the beginning of this video, try not to project what you want that person to be, Like, if you get with a person and they're not right for you for whatever reason, you shouldn't stay with that person out of obligation or because you think they'll change or be the person that you want them to be. You should just separate and both be allowed to be happy to be who you are with someone who accepts you for who you are and is attracted or wanting the same type of relationship or friendship as you. I think it's really, really important to say that, I think, like, you shouldn't force yourself to be interested in a gender that you're not actually interested in. At the same time, you shouldn't be forcing yourself to be a gender that you don't feel you are because of what society thinks you should be. And I think when you meet someone, like, I have to make sure that when I meet someone that they are hetero, really, because that's the best thing for me to do, for my personal circumstances, or maybe they're bi, they could be bi or pan, but have a preference for females because I'm actually not changing. Because you could get the other type of way that someone comes along and they want to change you into a different gender. That can happen too. Not usually it doesn't, but it could. Do you know what I mean? So you don't want that type of thing either. You want them to be happy with the gender that you actually are. Like, I'm female, but I have some guy traits. I have no intention of ever wanting to actually be a guy in body. I like being female and having some male traits. It's who I am. It works really well for me in my life. Like I said, most people who are female should have some guy traits, and most people who are guys should have some feminine traits anyway. Should have some of both to have a good, healthy, happy relationship with anyone who comes along. If you're too one way or the other, you won't be able to relate to each other very well. And that's where the difficulties are, that you can't really meet in the middle very often. Do you know what I mean? And so you have a hard time really connecting and bonding with that person. So it's better to just have both types of traits anyway, regardless of what gender you are. It's really important, and it's important to like I said in the beginning of this video, to if you're gonna think about getting a relationship with someone, then think about the person that actually is in front of you, not the person that you desire that person to be. Not try and change them and create some story in your head about what you wish to happen, which is not actually true. I've come across some guys in my life or people in my life that I wished maybe would like me more than a friend or something. But at the end of the day, there's no point if they're not actually that way inclined or don't really like me romantically. Do you know what I mean? Like, I need someone who really is into me romantically and really into kissing and really into cuddling and really into lots of affection. And I find that hard to get even in the asexual community, and I could project, oh, I wish this guy was like that, and would love kissing like I do, or I wish this guy would like public display of affection. But it doesn't matter at the end of the day. If they're not liking that, it's not what they're about, then it's best to just leave that alone and not even go down that situation, or potentially, because you're just going to get hurt. Either you're going to have to repress yourself, or that person's going to feel like they're obliged to do something they don't want to do. And that's no good. A relationship that's healthy shouldn't be repressed. It should be free and loving and kind and caring and considerate and respectful of the other person. That's why I'll rather stay single, and when I'm able to kiss guys in clubs who really want to kiss me, and love doing so, than ever be in a relationship with a guy who's not really into kissing. Because for me, I want to be desired in that kissing way. I want a guy to think, oh, you're so beautiful, I'd love to kiss you because you're just beautiful in that way. And I love that. So again, like going back to what I said in the beginning of this video, it's no good me projecting onto someone, oh, I wish they were really romantic and I wished that they love kissing like I do when they don't. That's just ridiculous, you know? And it's same as I do respect some religions and cultures don't like public displays of affection. If that's the case and that person is standing by their religion and culture and that's what they believe in themselves, that person would be no good for me to be in a relationship with, even though it doesn't mean to say they're a bad person. It just means to say they're no good for me, because I'd be having to repress something and be something I'm not. I can't live like that. I can't live like a caged animal. To me, that's being like a caged animal. Can't be that way. I need to be free. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather stay single forever and kiss guys in clubs than ever have that type of repressed type of relationship. For me personally, that's like repression. Like, oh, you can kiss me in private, you can hold my hand in private, but when we're in public, I don't want to be seen doing that because I'm worried about what people think. That isn't comfortable for me. That is, to me, like, is right, would personally be for me repression. It's like, no, I should be free to kiss my guy. You know, but once you've got someone who likes the same type of thing, you like, you know, like my last long-term ex, there was a lot of stuff that wasn't good about that relationship. You know, the guy wasn't good overall, but you know, there was things that I did like about, like, they were always kissing me in public. There was never any like you know, I guess towards the end of our relationship they weren't doing that as much because like kind of things were coming to an end, but you know, they were always like, whenever we were out together, would kiss me in public and stuff like that, you know. So again, when I meet someone, I've got to be careful not to project the ideal romantic situation and type of person I want them to be, but actually get to know whether they like that sort of stuff themselves. Because a person who likes public displays of affection, they like public displays of affection. That's the way it is. Do you know what I mean? If you like kissing in public, you like kissing in public. If you genuinely like it, full stop. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't matter whether you're going around the supermarket, doesn't matter whether you're going around a zoo, doesn't matter whether you're just going up the street. If you like it, you like it. You know, I like that type of thing. I've always been that type of person. I feel free and young and kid-like and beautiful and gorgeous when I do that and really happy, you know? So I think it's really important that, you know, that that you tell someone from the beginning the truth about you and what you love to do. And I think it's really important you get a compatible person, because the more person you get who's compatible for you, the more like you are going forward to have a happier, healthy relationship with them. You know, if you end up in a relationship together, or even just like trusting that person more. You know, if you're both different in terms of compatibility romance wise, but you might end up really good friends because you tell them the truth, you speak the truth, and like, I'm not really that into kissing, I don't really like public displays of affection. That's far better to be straight and upfront with them. So when I talked about projection and projecting in the beginning of this video, like, don't project this, that, and the other onto the person, it also requires the other person to be very open, upfront, and honest with you. You know, like, communication is a two-way thing. So whilst I say don't project your opinions and views and things you want to make the person something they're not, they've also got to be truthful with you. You know, you can get some people, I come across quite a lot of guys who just say what they think I want them to hear. And that's no good long term, because that's not me projecting, that's them projecting onto me what they think I want to hear. So, you know, projection is a two-way thing. It's not just all your fault or your responsibility. It's the responsibility of the other person to not tell me what they think I want to hear and to tell me the actual truth about themselves. So I can figure out for myself whether they're a good fit for me or not romantically, if I want to get romantically involved with them, you know, or thinking about that. It's very, very, very important, you know. So don't think it's just up to you to not project. It's up to the other person, but you have to see through the person as to what they're telling you. Is it the truth? Is it in keeping with what they actually do? Is it in keeping with the way they speak to their friends and their family? Is it in keeping with what they tell you over a long period of time? Because someone can tell you a load of bullshit to begin with, to be quite honest with you, and then you don't find out the truth till months or weeks or even years later sometimes, you know. So it's very, very, very important that you listen to yourself and what your ideal type of situation is with this person. Then you face the reality of what it actually is with what they say, do, consistency, words, actions, all that type of thing. And you just use it as a learning experience, really. and know that you're always okay on your own. You know, you don't have to have a partner, you don't have to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a lover or a spouse or a, you know, you don't have to have someone else. You can just be you and be free for a while or be single for a while, you know. Unless I find the right asexual guy for me, I will be single forever, pretty much, and I will probably go to clubbing sometimes and just kiss some guys because I just love kissing and I kind of need my kissing need met sometimes, and you know, and it is what it is, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So, but I think there's someone for everyone out there. And, you know, I think the person who's right for you will do no matter whatever it takes to actually be in a relationship with you. It's something I've learned from guys who I've spoke to, you know. I spoke to like guys, like adult guys who like with people, and they're like, you know, when a guy really loves a woman, he'll do whatever he can to be with her. Doesn't matter the distance, doesn't matter what job he's got, he'll make sure he does like 3 jobs if he needs to pay to see her and stuff like that. So don't be fooled by people who say they haven't got the money to see you, or they don't want, you know, they haven't got the time to spend with you, or they don't even want to get to know you and stuff, or they fobbing you off, you know. I mean, obviously, some people don't have money to do things, but you know, if a guy really loves a woman and his priority is getting a relationship and being with a woman, then he'll do whatever it takes when he to come and see her and be with her. If he doesn't, he won't, just to be quite honest. So I think, you know, you have to like listen to your own intuition, listen to your own instincts, be very aware of the mental picture and that you create for yourself and your ideal type of world or life with this person, and then become aware of the reality of the situation and if they fit into that ideal type of relationship in any way, shape, or form. We're just, it's too far apart, you know what I mean? So, but I think there are people out there that do want a relationship. I think it's just few and far between that are serious about it, really, and have the actual capability of doing it. Because that's another thing. I've come across some asexuals that are not actually capable of being in a relationship because they've got a lot of their own past issues going on. They are overtly feminine. I know some guys who, I like some feminine traits, right? But I know some guys who are so feminine, they just can't make their mind up about things and don't know what they want. And they're so living in their feminine, they're not strong enough to actually be in a relationship, especially not with a strong woman, girl like me. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't suit them. Um, you know, they would be like, oh my gosh, you're out about being asexual. I can't be seen with someone who's out about being asexual. It's like, yeah, I'm out about being asexual big time. You know, the work I do for asexuals is very important to me. And I need a guy who'll fully support me in my asexuality, be on this channel, supporting me, you know, and who'll love me for who I am, you know. I'm sure there's someone for everyone out there, you know, but always look at logically about what type of relationship you ideally want, and if you're projecting that onto the person that's come into your life who you're romantically or otherwise interested in a relationship with, compared to the reality of what's actually going on. It's my best advice. Anyway, I have been streaming now for over 2 hours, so I think that is it for tonight. If you like this video at all, give it a thumbs up. It's been a very interesting conversation in the chat tonight with My Life. Lots of love. I know My Life's had to go now. Hello, missing aesthetic. And lots of love to my best friend Sam, who's in this chat as well. It's really important to have really good friends around who care about you. Really nice. And yeah, I wish you the best of luck finding the love of your life if you're watching this now. And be safe and stay strong and just be beautiful you. And don't accept second best. It is better to be single forever than with the wrong person in a relationship. I just wanted to let you know that. Much better to stay single forever. And keep enjoying your life. It's good fun. Anyway, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now or post a new video. And I'll see you on the next video or live stream. Take care. Bye, say bye. And embrace your quirky and each other's. Thank you for everyone who's participated in chat. Lots of love. Bye, everyone. Bye.